It's tiny, it's flashy, and it's causing big headaches. Georgia's latest unwelcome guest, the spotted lanternfly, has officially landed right in downtown Atlanta. Discovered first in the breezeway of an apartment building, this invasive pest has locals on high alert. So for his monthly check-in, Ranger Nick didn't just talk about it. He headed straight to ground zero, wandering the wooded area just beyond the building to see where these lanternflies are making themselves at home.
Holding a juvenile Juro spider. Until next time, for the Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you, like I always do, that enthusiasm is contagious. Well, if you've been watching Ranger Nick over the years, you know usually the segment starts on a farm or in the forest, not on an apartment building. And what you were looking at there is the spot, Ground Zero, Atlanta, Georgia, where spotted lanternfly was first discovered. Now, Paul McDaniel. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Nick. How are you?
I'm great. It's so good to see you and have you with us from the Georgia Forestry Commission. But, Paul, an apartment building, spotted lanternfly, not on a tree? Explain this to us.
That's right. So this insect was first reported by a resident right here in this apartment complex. And he'd actually seen a video on YouTube that he recognized it from the video and decided to report it to the Department of Agriculture.
Interesting. Now, we learned previously on the monitor about some of the things that the spotted lanternfly can do from an ag standpoint on some of those fruit trees. But from a forestry standpoint, talk to me about the problems that that spotted lanternfly brings.
Sure. Spotted lanternfly's primary host is tree of heaven, which most people would think, oh, that's great. Tree of heaven is a non-native invasive and can take over a lot of areas, but it actually can jump off onto a lot of other of our native tree species, such as maples and oaks and birches.
Things that are very valuable in Georgia, and those little insects on that tree of heaven, which, by the way, I'll help you identify that in just a second, but those trees and that insect, what's the problem? What is it doing to the tree? Is it eating it? Is it feeding on it? What is it?
Sure. The insect's actually a phloem feeder, so the insects will actually burrow into the tree and drink the phloem out of the tree, and then it exert a honeydew out of it, which is its waste product, and it'll get on other leaves of other plants or the plant itself, and it'll cause something called sooty mold that'll grow on there, basically a black mold on the leaves, and that covers up that leaf surface and it keeps them from being able to produce sugars and stuff of that from the sun.
And we're going to talk about how to identify that, but on the tree of heaven, you talk about in this kind of an area, here we are along some railroad tracks. A disturbed area is kind of a place you might want to go if you think they might be there?
That's right. Tree of heaven really likes these disturbed areas, and that's where you're really going to see them, and they tend to start to take over those areas as well.
This sounds like such a pleasant thing. You talked about honeydew, it's excrement. You talked about tree of heaven, so many very friendly, upbeat things, not so. What I want to do now is I want to go talk about how to identify tree of heaven, how to look at that little insect, and then what do you do if you find one? I'm going to give you a homework assignment, so let's go there now. So we mentioned tree of heaven, there it is, a beautiful tree and a lovely name, by the way, tree of heaven, but this is a tree, Paul, that's gonna live in a disturbed area along a railroad track, for example.
That's right. They're very heavily like these really disturbed areas. That's where they prefer to take root.
So, and spotted lanternfly prefers the tree of heaven primarily.
That's right. It's definitely the preferred host. It can get onto other posts, but where you're gonna find it first, tree of heaven.
So when I'm looking to see if I got a tree of heaven on my property in that disturbed area, how am I gonna identify it, Paul?
Yeah, so a tree of heaven's usually going to have this long compound leaf, and then the best way to identify is to rub your hands on the leaves, smell it, and it smells just like burnt peanut butter.
I agree. It's a lovely analogy for sure. You got these kind of compound leaves. You got also what I think looks kind of like this bud scar that's a big smiley face like that on there. And so amazingly, the bark on this tree, when you look at the body of the spotted lanternfly, looks so similar. That is not by coincidence. That is so interesting how that works. All right, so I find a tree of heaven. What if you find the spotted lanternfly? What are we gonna do? Paul, what do you recommend?
All right, first thing you need to do, take a picture of it. So that way, when you send it in to get identified, you know what you're seeing. But the second thing, and the most important thing, is to squish it and get rid of it. And so if you have found an egg mass, which you'll find usually in the winter time, you need to take that off, scrape it off the tree, stick it into a bag with some alcohol in it, and crush it up in there to make sure to kill any insects that are in there.
And you know, the Warnell School of Forestry and Natural Resources is involved in positively identifying those insects, and then we take that from there and we can distribute on a map where these things are going. Spotted lanternfly. Paul, I really enjoyed this month, despite what that little guy is doing, a beautiful little insect, but with some things going wrong. Y'all know what to do. While you're online looking at the edmaps.org website and considering submitting a picture of potentially a spotted lanternfly, check out the Ranger Nick Facebook page, the Farm Monitor Facebook page, and for all of us here, I'm Ranger Nick reminding you that enthusiasm is contagious, so pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you right back here this time next month. See ya. Holding a juvenile Juro spider. Until next time, for the Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you, like I always do, that enthusiasm is contagious.